Hey everyone, Aaron here, and this is another surprise attack review. And today's surprise attack review is of Sea Control. Now, if you've never heard of Sea Control, don't be really kind of surprised by that. I really don't see too many people talking about this. And when I actually bought this several months ago, I actually had the same concept pop up when I saw it in the store. I was like, wow, I've never heard of this before. It looks awesome. And so I kind of bought it on a whim, impulse. I was a little afraid because I don't like buying series that are brand new if I've never heard of them or I've never seen them at full price. Because this was $50 when I first brought it because it's a Blu-ray DVD combo. And it's a short series, it's only 11 episodes, so I was a little scared, but I decided, you know what the heck, I want to watch it eventually. And I'll tell you right now, I owned it for a while, but I've watched other anime and other stuff I own, and it took this long for me to finally review this. And I'll tell you right now, though, this show is awesome. It's not perfect, but it is awesome. So let's get into why the show's so good. So our main character over there on the left, actually, with the blue jacket, is named Yoga. I'm actually not going to try to pronounce his first name. I think it's Kimaru. But Yoga is an economical student at a college. He's, I think, 19 years old in the show. And he's just kind of talking about his life. He wants his future to be stable. He wants to have a good job. He wants to have a kid, a wife. And, he just wants to be stable. And that's kind of personal things that kind of influence his decisions like that. But then he finds out that there exists a world alongside our own that actually is in control of all the money in Japan and in other countries also as well, called the Financial District, where actual battles, like actual fights, with avatar and like characters with you and all that, take place to determine who gains more money and who gains influence off the current currency, whatever is in that state, in that country. And it just becomes this whole thing that when he gets put into the situation, he learns that there's some very dark things going on in the world where there actually exists a thing called Midas money, which is like a black currency dollar bill, almost, that's what it looks like, that actually exists in our world, but we just can't see it unless you're actually part of the Financial District. And he now realizes that this world that he's in, that he's now got himself mixed up in with, because it really wasn't his intention, but he kind of got mixed up in it. Now it's kind of his job to figure out what he's going to do with the realization that at any time, if he actually defeats enemies and bankrupts them, as they call it, because every attack in this giant fight arena type thing is actually based off of actual money. If you actually bankrupt someone, their whole life, aka their futures, disappear. And not to spoil anything, but certain characters lose everything. They lose their families. They lose all the stuff they've owned, all their wealth, and it becomes where Yoga now tries to figure out what does he want to do, how does he want to approach this world, and he ends up meeting the character on the right who kind of guides him as the story progresses towards what they're going to do. And I have no idea what that pop-up was. I have no idea. Something. Doesn't matter though. Anyways, so I'll tell you right now, Sea Control is not without its flaws. It's an awesome premise, something that I've not seen in anime in a long time. I mean, I've seen other anime with concepts of currency and financial gains and economic concepts like Spice and Wolf, for example, or Mayu, which is terrible, but Mayu is also good as an example of that nonetheless. And, Spice and Wolf does it correctly, Mayu does not. Sea Control, I think, goes a little bit both ways, where even though the concept is so, fanatical that you can't believe it, it's something that you look at it and go, wow, this is pure fantasy. It's also something kind of scary, because what if it was possible? What if secretly all the money in our world is actually being controlled behind the scenes by a game, essentially, a actual battle arena type thing going on, that's where money is lost and gained. And it's interesting, it really is. And I actually love Sea Control's concepts of it. I love the way they handle it. They don't try to explain too much currency on topics. Like Spice and Wolf goes into detail about currency and how economic strides go up and down, and inflation, etc., etc. Sea Control keeps it at a level where even if you don't like money or you don't like the concept of currency, and by the way, when I say don't like money, I mean don't like the concepts of understanding how money's made and where money comes from. It doesn't go too far into that spectrum. It goes where it explains it a little bit, but never something that you get like, oh, I'm so tired of hearing this. I love that about the show. Now, I do have issues with Sea Control, namely two big issues. One, it's only 11 episodes. I think they should have really made the show a lot longer. I think you could have fleshed out a lot of the side characters. You could have fleshed out some of the other characters. Even the main character kind of does not have a lot per se to happen to him, and it's very sped up. The story and the plot are very sped up as concepts go on. Every episode actually skips, and I'll tell you right now, there's one episode that skips a fight just to go into another fight on another episode. I got so annoyed by that instantaneously. It's like, show the fight at least, you know. You don't have to always talk about it, but show at least some of it. They just skipped entirely. They showed the beginning of it, then the episode ended, next episode started, and nothing happened. You know, they went on like 2 weeks later. And this show does that a lot. It does a lot of time skips, which, you know, I do have issues with in certain anime, especially being that this is so short. It's a little annoying. Another issue I have with Sea Control is probably the kind of ending you get from this. I'm not going to spoil the ending. I'm not. If you want to ask me what that ending is because you don't want to watch this show, which, you know, how dare you? You shouldn't do that. But you can always message me if you want, like, you know, because I know some people sometimes don't want to watch a certain show, but they want to know that juicy ending, you know, what's so bad about it. But I'll tell you right now, the ending for this was, it's not that it's bad. It's not by any means bad. It's just the way it is. It's very kind of depressing. And not a good depressing of like, oh, well, you know, I learned something. No, more so like a lot of things happen and nothing gets resolved in the end. And I hate to say it that way. It's not spoiling anything per se because you don't know what exactly is getting resolved in the show unless you watch it. But in the end, I was like, wow, I can't believe that's what happened. That sucks. And it's almost like, and even the main character makes a joke about it at the end, knowing, I think full well, that it's just that ending that you don't want to see in a show. Now, you know, again though, the animation's phenomenal. I love Sea Control's animation. I think it looks really cool. I love the fight scenes. I love the concepts that it goes with. I think those are really cool with the whole, you know, balance between money and currency and having to actually, you actually in battles, and what they do is they actually bet how much money they want to spend per an attack. So if they want to do their best attack, they have to spend like millions of yen, which is a lot of money in our currency. But it gets really ridiculous, and it's kind of funny just to see that actually be a reason for fighting. It's like, you know, almost like if you think of MP in JRPGs, for example, where, you know, your best attacks are linked to your MP being high numbered damage-wise, but you have to use the most amount of it. Think of that in Sea Control. I think it comes off really cool, and I think it's something very different for an anime. Now, overall though, voice acting is phenomenal. I saw the Japanese version. It's not too bad. I only watched a few episodes of the Japanese. I just wanted to see how it sounded. I watched it primarily in English for the most part. I love the English voice acting. Some of the best ones are, some of the best voice actors are in here, definitely. And overall, it's a good show. It's a good show. It's one of those shows that you'll watch. It's over very fast. I finished this in essentially less than 24 hours. Okay, I binge watched the whole thing, and it's not because I like to binge watch the whole series, but it's just that every episode passed, and I was like, well, I want to see the next one. I want to see the next one. I gotta see the next one, and it's rare for shows like that. Now, it almost sounds like I'm going to give this a really high rating, but I have to be honest with you. If I had to give this a rating A through F, I have to give it a B+. Now, you might be wondering, well, you just said so much promising stuff. The ending being so kind of depressing, and the skipping of time and how, like, you know, few the episodes were, keeps it from being an A. This could have been an A. This really could have been. Even maybe an A- at least. But because it skips so many episodes, and because there's so much issues per se the ending, I can't give it an A. I can't. I want to, but I can't. It's gonna always be that, like, if you actually put a numerical value, it would be like an 89.9. That's how close it is to an A. It's teetering on the precipice of being an A, but it can't get there. It really can't. And that's a shame. I think Sea Control could have been really one of those like top 100 anime, but I just think it just fails utterly at certain concepts here and there. And while the show in general is so great, it's those concepts that keep it, like, just, I hate to say, it's like the balancing act of just being so good and so bad at the same time. But at least the good outweighs the bad enough to say, hey, it's almost an A. It really is that good. Definitely check this show out, guys. Anyways, that's it for this review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I don't know what I just said. But anyways, until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye.